Yo, my name is Dini Mussolini. I am the grand host and creator of Skeptix. This is a show that's all about honesty, redemption, and transparency. Different co-hosts will frequent these episodes and guest star with me to tell their perspectives and their opinions. We are just saying that we're skeptical of the government, of religion, rumors, skeptical of people, and skeptical of the handshake. So, yo, this is a judge-free environment. Well, don't quote me on that. Anyway, here we go.
Like, man, why you do what you do? Why you say the stuff you say? Well, I don't know about that skin and bones. He seemed like a rip-off clone on the mountain. Cause I want to. Cause I want to. Cause I want you. I love you, mommy. To get a word, to get a mucho. I do my thing, they tripping on the thing. I'm waiting for the Armageddon, please. I got my soldiers on deck, ready for the war. I know why I'm here, but what you come here for? And I'm moving cause of Elohim, that's Yah. Baba be da steady, get it right. Cause I want to, yeah, cause I want to, cause I want to, and baby, I want you. I know they do not feel the words we say, but undercover they hit the button replay. We soldiers marching through the tunnel. Oh, and I need some hugs and baby, don't let go. And I promise you it's loyalty and life. And all of my love I put it on the right. The righteous one riding hidden in the skies. You don't have to like it, respect me or cause I want to. Cause I want to. Cause I want to, baby, and I want you, baby, I want you, cause I want to, cause I want to, baby, and I want you. I know I do my thing that's on the low. I'm still on my knees praising the one and so. Grandma said before she went, don't ever let go. And that's on my twins, I want out, but for sure. See 15 niggas blazing up your block. And I cry to oneness every night I fall. And I say, Yakwe Kamuyataya Kwa. I'll be your thug martyr until you call. Cause I want to. Cause I want to. Cause I want to. Cause I want to. Baby, I want to. And I want to. Cause I want to. And baby, I want you.
You're now listening to Skin and Bones, Monolithic Angel.
Hello out there and welcome to another episode of Skeptix, where we dive deep with the people who are Christians or Buddhists or atheists, or Muslims, or study meta and quantum physics. We could talk about opening your third eye. We could talk to indigo, starseed, and crystalline children, and all of that great, cool, and awesome stuff. Are we debunkers? No, I think not. But we are great debaters that are on a quest of understanding, understanding, and overstanding. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show or join in our live and open discussion and conversation, you can chime in by dialing 701-801-9813 or join the mix by visiting my website, which is over at www.onlyonemediagroup.com / Vigilantes Radio, and make sure you slap that go live button. All episodes are available for free download at least 1 hour after the show ends. You can find us on iTunes as well. And tonight I am your host, Dini Mussolini. My co-host, Johanan Rael Khan Unk, had quite a long name, but he had a pretty bad accident on New Year's Eve and the celebrations, and he won't be available tonight. Well, you've guessed it. You are tuned in to Skeptix episode Conversations with a Shaman. And our special guest tonight is the one and only Skin and Bones. So, make sure you guys tune in, pull up a chair, and dive deep into this conversation with us as we discuss anything that pops in our minds. You never know where these conversations may go. This is not scripted like our Vigilantes Radio interviews. And only the interview part is scripted. Everything else is done organically. But Skeptix is not scripted, so you never know what you may get. All right, I don't really do announcements in the Skeptix episode or Coach Dini tips, but I will give you a piece of inspiration, okay? Much to be done. There is so much to be done, and that is great because in everything that must be done is opportunity. If it all has you feeling overwhelmed sometimes, just keep this in mind. You can choose to change that feeling. So focus on taking one initial action now. Do something. Make a little progress and feel empowered instead of overwhelmed. If it's just writing that first sentence, making that first call, filming that first scene, lay the first stone. So go ahead with the effort and let yourself be happy about the possibilities that can arise from your actions. There is no equal to the feeling of making a difference. That's a feeling you can have right now, a feeling you can continue to sustain. The days ahead are filled with opportunity as we crossed over into a new year. God bless us all, of course. So feel the joy. Make sure you feel your value. That's important. And the substance that you create, and get started by just getting it done. All right. So that is a little piece of a little chip off the iceberg for you guys if you're feeling overwhelmed and don't know where to start. There you go. There's a little push. So with that, let's bring on our special guest tonight. Skin and Bones, what is up?
Hail Yisrael, Shabbat Ibri, Shabbat Ishmael. How we doing it? Shout out to Lazy, Crazy Busy with your flesh and the whole Home Cooks family. Family music worldwide. What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how's it going tonight, bro?
Hey, man. Viva la Latino Marinos, Viva la Latino Caribbeanos, everything, man. It's good like that. La vida es movie and life is good. Without all the trials and tribulations, life is good.
Yes, sir. So, you were talking a little Latin there. What's up with that?
Well, on my grandmother's side, it was basically a mestizo, which is basically any indigenous mixed. So, South Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Nova Scotian, and that's my bloodline, Casa de la Pelo. The house of the good hair, and we mixing it up with our stars in the east, and our compasses are, are more on our degrees. So that's our claim to legacy. That's who we are, right here in the 31700. Indianapolis, Indiana. Born and bred.
All right, cool, man. I always start this bit of a segment with this question. What do you believe in? Or who do you believe in?
Oh, man. Yeah, that always seems to be the deciding factor for us as a individual. But I don't know if we belie anything, but what we trust and we know is that there's only one true master scientist and creator. And, and that's how we roll, on a complete monotheistic vibe. So, all hail, Elohim. How we do it. So
are you Hebrew?
Well,
really
that's something that's something that could be a toss-up because, in our actuality, we all are Ibri, whether we know it or not. But I would just say that I'm an indigenous follower of the Shabbat. You know what I mean? Because when you get into like that whole terminology, then you got to do a lot of researching. So we're looking at more or less indigenous to the culture of the Ten Commandments, the order of Moshe, and keeping the Shabbat, which of course we know in the 15th century and forward were kind of tampered with. So we basically kind of build on that vibration, just doing the best to keep the Shabbat for the one, being on a monotheistic level. But I do know that a lot of Ibris, Ishmaelites, Coptic Christians are, on the same vibration. Rastafarians, Caribbean people know a lot about that. So if that's the way to narrow it. Yeah, we're all Ibri, I think, though. If we do our research and we find out what happened in slave times, then we can kind of get a more precise understanding or understanding on what that terminology is really about. Because you got a lot of controversy when it comes to what people want to call religion, and I don't really know if I'm religious. I just know that I'm cultural, and as a shaman that understands and understands the Ibri culture. I know that is the most ancient text that we have on a higher vibration as far as a creator is concerned. So we know that everything that came out of the Biblios, what they call the Bible, we like to call it the law or instructions, was scripted. Even on the pyramids was scripted Ibri. So that's a good way for people to kind of research and understand themselves or search themselves for truth when it comes down to where spirituality really thrives from or derives from.
But what does the controversy come in at?
Well, absolutely. I'm thinking that from what I've seen in my own time in space and places, that it deals with people who claim religion. I mean, everybody needs something, I guess, they want to belie and they call believe or, follow or family ancestry. But, if we can pay attention to Alex Haley, and we can look at what, he did to give us the tidbit of information, then you can go far back as to looking at old scripts from slave ships, and almost every individual on the slave ship's name ended in Al, or Yah, or Al, which are indigenous and ancient terminologies to determine sovereignty, which is what we all had through our ancestors when we were all across this ancient world and land. So, again, it's just kind of like stuff gets remixed, chopped and screwed, and, they take it to another level when they're trying to demand and command control of each other, and then your so-called holy wars and all these kind of things. So I think that that's pretty much what it boils down to. But you've got even Catholic patriarchs of old, admitting that they changed, the Sabbath day from a so-called Saturday to Sunday. Now, that's not something I wrote. That's something that was actually published and written. So, I mean, when you're looking at it that way and people are just, the right people are telling you the right things, then you got to go right,
Mm-hmm. And that's something they're still pushing the Pope or the Vatican were over here not too long ago pushing for that Sunday worship for all religions. And they had a symbol like... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you, big dog. You're popping right now.
Yeah, I said they had all of the denominations, I guess you want to call them, assembled together and tried to push the, the Sunday mandate for everybody to be off work, for everybody to worship on that day. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't, like I said, remember the Shabbat and to keep it holy, WHOLLY, which means to keep it complete within yourself. So, again, I don't have anything against the so-called powers that be. We got love for the IRS and the NSA and all that. We're playing our part on our squares and degrees, and we know what we're supposed to do, but right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's where the line in the sand is drawn. So, me, myself, I feel like if people don't want to study, then that's on them. I mean, it comes into it gets controversial. Everybody wants to create controversy and, well, that's your belief and this is my belief. But if we're talking culture, if we're talking ancestors, and then we want to talk about why so-called Black Lives Matter, and we're, judging people in the ways of crayons, then we're not really doing what the Creator told us to do after all, as far as loving one another and agreeing with our enemy while we're in the way. If someone says they're going to murder you, then the first thing you must do within inside yourself is say, okay, what is it that I can do, if anything, to keep this person from murdering me? You're not going to start spewing all kinds of crazy stuff unless you're just indignant and ignorant. So that in itself kind of shows the individual where they're at, whether they're full of fear, whether they're full of inclination of good will towards men, or if they even have the power to discern what they should be doing at the particular point in time. And I say that all to say that if we're not studying and if we're not researching in this big, big world of internet and, and all these other things, man, it's really just a waste of our time. Thomas, I believe his name was Enright, CSSR president, Redemption College, Roman Catholic, Kansas City, Missouri, February 18th, 1884, said, I believe what it was proved to me from the Bible alone, that I am bound to keep Sunday holy. There is no such law in the Bible. It is a law of the Holy Catholic Church alone. The Bible says, remember the Shabbat, the day to keep it holy. The Catholic Church says, no, by my divine power I abolish the Sabbath day and command you to keep early the first day of the week, and lo, the entire civilized world bows down in reverence, obedience to the command of the Holy Catholic Church. Now, that was quoted by Thomas Enright, the president. I have nothing against that brother. I'm sure he's passed on into glory in his own right. I've never seen him and never shake hands with him, but if that's what they published in the good old 1800s, well, then who can argue with that? You see what I'm saying? So, and how do we come across that knowledge but through research? So, again, I just want to do it for the ancestors. I want to do it for the ones whose bones were spread across the yard in the sands, bloodshed. I want to do it for Kipta Kinte and everybody before him. So that's really what it's about. I'm just sick and tired of hearing, so-called indigenous people of color or of carbonation talk about this and that and how they, love the Creator. Now, don't pay no attention to me because I'm a former Thug in Harmony, so I'm the last person that can really speak. But I know that as I ride shotgun with one of my right fingers, Mr. Two Fly, who's been a very powerful force to me throughout these years, that if this brother can pick up some science and some knowledge and investigate himself and not even known me past a few years, then surely everyone else can, because we all have free will. We all have choice. That's what makes us the co-regents of this earth. And Psalms it says, are ye not gods?
But one that is brand new and awakening, where would they start to research? You keep saying, do your research. I think that's an excellent question. Do your research, but, I won't say we are, but some people are constantly bombarded with modern day Christianity, and they may be looking in the wrong direction.
Right.
And then,
Right.
then you get the Vatican's pushing, Sunday worship, and they may jump on YouTube and see that Sunday worship means worship the sun.
Right.
So that's a whole another lane. So
No
one
doubt.
that's coming to a state of awakening, where should they look?
Well, first and foremost, of course, we are not going to come out the room. Well, we do come out the room speaking Ibri, but hence the word Baba and Dada. But once we begin to get indoctrinated, the first thing we could do, because it's what any pastor, preacher, and or Bible scholar, biblio scholar has to do, and that's research the Ibri language, which they would call Hebrew in English, or the Greek, and get you a lexicon, Hebrew lexicon, and it will break down the terminologies and the words, because what one has to realize is that when you're looking at anything after the 1600s, King James Version has been bodily tampered with. So you could also look up ISR, the Institute for Scriptural Research, and we had the Ethiopians who did their best to translate the scriptures from the Ibri language into English. So where one thing might say in the Bible, love, and it really might just mean appreciate, or one thing might say like and really mean love. And so these words are vitally important. It'll even show you how to enunciate names like Yirmiyah, which they call Jeremiah, or Eliyahu, which they say Elijah, which is very important, because when you're looking at the J and how it hasn't been around past 400 to 500 years, ironically, since slavery's existed, then we kind of have to ask ourselves, what's really going on, in this world? Well, what are they trying to hide? Like, what's important? They'll get you to thinking, oh, well, it's okay. That's just how we say it in English. That's interesting, because when he said, don't change anything, or I will change your place, do not take anything out, or I take your place out, I think that people think that the creator of the master scientist is playing around with us, when we can see for the past 2,000 plus years, he's been wiping the slate clean every time we think we have froggy the leap on his lily pad. That situation in itself is just kind of messed up. So, that's why I kind of just get on the rooftop, like I said, and look at afar. And I'm not the kind of individual to attack anyone. I'm the kind of individual that actually will do what I need to do to get what I need to get done, and that's to unify the souls, to gather the souls. So, yeah, Lexington, Encyclopedia, Hebrew, Encyclopedia, Bible, Lexington. You look that up, that'll work. ISR, Institute Scriptural Research Bible, or Scriptures, it'll say Scriptures on there, that was cultivated in Ethiopia. That'll kind of get your feet wet. And then, of course, you just start Googling, different things. This is what the internet is known for. Go to YouTube and put in Ibri language, Ibri culture. Where do we come from originally? I'll say this and give you the floor again. I once was having myself checked, make sure we healthy and everything. And the sister was a Caucasian sister, and it was really interesting, because she said back in the days when, the hippies were fevering, well, right before she integrated herself into that subgenre, subculture, she said she had a discussion with her mother, who was well-to-do. And she said, well, Mama, we all come from Africa. And she said from that statement alone, her mother took her whole inheritance from her. So, if that leaves you with anything on your consciousness.
No, not really.
Well, I'm just saying, anytime you want to admit something to your people and they want to take your future from you, maybe it's rubbing them the wrong way for a reason.
So what do you think they're hiding?
Well, I don't even think it's always a fact. I don't think it's a fact sometimes that it's something that people are hiding. I think that sometimes the truth is in plain sight, and we all choose just to ignore it, because, as they say, I guess ignorance sometimes is bliss for some.
Yeah. That's true. So are you currently uniting the souls?
I feel like in our own way. I'm not trying to pub anything, but I'm saying I give the most high praise for the ability to be able to scribe writing through our music. You know, I mean, honestly, if people would rather just hear science than music, we scribe that in the Garter 7, which is basically like a freestyle tape, but, you know, we give up the praises to the one in that and document our stories in Psalms as Dawid did, King Dawid or David. And I think that was the first way that I realized that I could, you know, unify the souls to be able to come together. And I got to give shouts out to Wu-Tang Bone and Tupac, Amaru Shakur for that, because they used their knowledge and wisdom to do the same. So they were people that helped me realize, even DMX, that we can definitely, you know, open a portal or a door for our people. Because some of us just don't have the attention span all the time to just, I guess, read, which we should find a way to do that. But hallelujah for music, you know?
Yes, sir. And you seem pretty knowledgeable. So let's talk about your awakening stage. Did you come out of the, well, I ain't gonna say that. Yeah, let's talk about your awakening.
Sorry?
So how old were you when you realized, or what was the first thing you actually studied as a young
Well, this is how it's going to hit you. This is what's going to really hit you strange, Chico. Right. I'm a third-generation shaman by birthright. My grandmother was the first generation in the line of shamans. My mother was a second, which means at 5, she was stood up on table, prophetically reading fortunes, if you will, to congregations. But in our culture, in the Caribbean culture, we don't see it the same way that, you know, European or English culture tries to, you know, represent. Oh, it's a prophet. You know, they call us prophets, but my family was never on that. They were women and a matriarch that just knew the science of the Creator as into the Torah. So I've always been immersed in that, and it was cloaked in the form of church at times. But behind the scenes, my grandmother, those that were the souls are wise, she always knew who she was, but she used the church as an outlet to reach people because she knew that the average African-American so-called would not understand what's really going on. And one time I was chopping it up with a sister, and we had been building for a while, and she revealed to me, she said, you know what, I was reading out of Leviticus, and she said, and I realized that if I was there in that time, I'd probably be freaked out because it was like they was doing real live rituals. Well, to answer your question even further, at 12 years old, I was sitting up there behind the pew, and I happened to read through Luke. And I noticed something that really didn't scratch my fancy very well. I noticed that Yahushua, who they want to call Zeus, which is incorrect because I can speak Spanish and I'm Spanish related, so no, that's not who he would be. But Yahushua, the one who brings us the Savior to the Savior, he was 12 years old, around the same age that I was in Luke, and he showed up at the synagogue. Next thing I know, he disappears after the synagogue and doesn't show up till he's 33. Or I'm just like, I got in a Sunday school class and I patronized and invoked the Sunday school teacher to explain to me where the teenage Yahushua went. And there were some things that's just not meant for us to know, or blah, 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 something like that. And I just didn't agree with that. I said, well, there's got to be an answer. So I continued to search. Throughout my life, I got out in the streets. I got thuggish, sluggish bone. But the Creator was always with me. My grandmama always told me, Chico, she said, you keep Wabe, you keep the Most High over your side, over your shoulders at all times, no matter what you go through. So one time I invoked the Most High, and I said, if there's anything I'm missing, won't you please show me? So I go to the library, and I'm just looking through different things, and VHS is still popular at this time, so I find the Dead Sea Scrolls on VHS, and then I find the lost books of the Biblios, and the books of Enoch, and the books of Adam and Eve. So, well, actually, I found the lost books, and then that's where I found the rest of the story of Yahushua come alive. Not only to find out also that the Catholic heads had removed those in ancient times. And ironically, the reason I knew this was a confirmation, because there's a passage in the lost books that holds the adolescence and teenage life of Yahushua, the Christ, and he's actually doing the same thing I seen him do when I was about 8 years old on a TV show called Jesus. He's taking clay figures and bringing them to life. Turtle doves, all these different things. Now, when I seen that, on the series, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I've read the Bible plenty of times, and I don't remember that scripture anywhere. So ironically, wouldn't it be that years later, I read the Lost Books, and there it is. So if Hollywood knows it and we don't, something is really wrong, man. Something's wrong.
Yeah. I'll say. And as a shaman, like, what is that really? What is a shaman?
Well, shamanism can be explained as the backdrop of invocation, worship, and praise. They were the ritual leaders in the tribes, the ones who were able to, if you want to call it, get a Teflon. I don't want to say prey because we don't prey on anybody. We are predators, but we ain't predators, sexual or otherwise. So Teflon is the proper word when you want to get a breakthrough with the Creator. And so the shaman was the ritual leader in his tribe or her tribe, and they could get the Teflon through most generally because they had a specific type of diet. They Teflon 5 to 7 times a day. They faced the southeast, everything quantized. And so they were able to further open up the doors for the people who weren't as strong in that area as they were. And this is spread throughout different cultures, and some may take it to another level and twist it or bend it, but at the core and the essence of its purest form, that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. And how long have you been a shaman?
All my life, but I only accepted the calling probably, I'd say 2006. I really started accepting what it was that my family, was all about. I mean, in a Caribbean family, man, whether they're foreign or whether they're local, I mean, domestic, it's something that's all around you. You know, candles, water, fire, earth, and wind, breath, spirit, la esperatu, so I just really came into it fasting from the swine, make sure that I'm doing my best not to eat any bottom feeders because that pollutes your spirit and creates cancerous cells. I still got to work on my red meat, but I definitely don't touch pork, crabs, squids, any of that thing, anything that's eating boo-boo at the bottom of the ocean. So that's part of it. That's why Yahushua in the scriptures was so powerful, and every other prophet before him, even in the Quran, Prophet Muhammad, a lot of these prophets were on specific diets that were allowing their third eye to open, their pineal gland to be illuminated, and for them to stand on squares and degrees like no others. So when Yahushua asked Kepha or Peter to come out on the water, there was probably a sense of a level of dieting that hadn't been achieved for a lot of them. A certain food will weigh you down spiritually and keep you from being able to reach that Shekinah glory.
Yeah. So you know a lot of history, a lot of Bible. Huh?
Well, scriptures. I mean, because biblios, gnosis, yes, but most people don't know this, and I'm about to break it so it can forever be broken. And I'll hate to hurt anyone's heart because I love you all out there listening, whether we know each other or not. May you be blessed in the Most High, Master Scientist. Ahaya Ashahaya, Hawua Hu Hawua, Allahim. May he shine down on you glory and illumination for all the luminaries out there. But at the end of the day, the word Bible itself is Babel or Babel. The correct term would be scriptures, Torah, Tanakh, good book, any of that's great. But most people don't realize that for hundreds of years, pagans have been mocking the Creator and his prophets. So it's kind of weird when I uncovered that. I was like, wow, that's pretty bold. And it still sells thousands of copies. But see, it's a image that once it's planted in your mind, that's why most people are like, oh, it contradicts itself, because it's been remixed a few times, and the word itself puts an incantation in your brain. So you see Babel or you see Bible, in your mind is Babel. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not funny. It's just reality. But some wouldn't think that incantations can go that deep. And people would say, oh, well, it doesn't have any power if you don't believe in it. Well, first of all, you ain't supposed to lie anything. But you need to trust and know that all words have power, falsehood or not, because it's an incantation of energy. While the sayer or the listener receives, or passes it on, and that's how heavy it can get sometimes, man. Your name, whatever your name is a title. When it's invoked into the world, when people say it, you either have a good report, a bad report, or a mixed up report. And that's no different from anything else, especially something that's coming out the mouth of a massive scientist that's been here eons and eons before we could even think of our own conception into the earth or these lands.
You breaking the internet right now, Skin and Bones.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Slick on me.
All right, we're going to try to take a music break real quick. Here's Skin and Bone, Up, Down.
I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. Grandma, please come give me. Grandma, please come give me. I just wanna do my thing, maybe laugh but not sing. Maintain the main thing, do you dig what I say? I don't really wanna skizz out. It's so sick, man. I just wanna get busy and get out. On the phone, man. You can coast and blow. We can smoke into your nerve. We can sip some brews. We can just chill cool. You don't wanna see me silly. In my face, we'll get 'em, so move out of my. I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. I just wanna get up, they just wanna pull me down. Grandma, please come give me. Grandma, please give me. You know that I know. Do you see what I see? Do you feel what I feel? Then feel the pain of the OG. G-A-G-G. I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. I just wanna get up, they just wanna pull me down. Grandma, please come give me. Grandma, please give me. I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. I just wanna get up, they just wanna pull me down. Grandma, please come give me. Grandma, please give me. It's one of them things, you know what I mean? But I do it, you know what I mean? It's la vida, you know what I mean? We doing it in the land of the family, you know what I mean? These thuggin' homies, you know what I mean? How we roll, just cruise control, you know what I'm saying? All them hard times, you know what I mean? Them sad songs, you know, but we gon' gain that victory. We gon' overcome, you know what I mean? By the blood diamonds of the thugs, you know what I mean? True, humble, united gathering. Them songs, I just wanna get up, they just wanna pull me down. I just wanna get up, they just wanna see me down. Grandma, please come give me. Grandma, please come down. healing herbs, you know what I mean? And passion flowers, and lavender, that Damiana, boy, you don't know nothing about it. Smoking token, smoking choke. Smoking token, smoking choke. What up, KB? Smoking token, smoking choke. LB, WB, FB, you know what I mean? BB, Gambino, Familia, Quattro La Vida, Q Loco Familia, baby. In the yard, staying hard. Soup, soup.
All right, Skinny Bones, are you with us?
Yeah. We with you, man. 100.
All right, man. You broke the internet for a second there.
Hey, what you mean by that, brother? What you mean?
Like Chrome sent me a message that said that we were out of memory because the server was full.
Oh, you mean as far as this? There's people trying to call in.
People trying to call in.
Oh, wow. You're echoing now for some reason.
Yeah, that's because I had to do some magic. Give me just a second.
Okay, I got you.
All right, there we go.
Well, all praise to the Most High, the Master Scientist, all his prophets of the Torah and the Quran. So, you know, we keep the truth of the Biblios in our heart, man. Let me ask you this, man. What inspired you to start this segment, you know, and create this forum?
I just felt like this was something I had to do.
I think it's a beautiful thing. How many listeners do we have right now, or do you know?
Yeah. Over 9,000, bro.
Well, I'd like to say to all the 9,000 souls, may the Master Scientist, Ha'or, Ahaya, Asha, Ahaya, beloved to all our souls, be with you all, and even the testimony of his minister, Yahushua, the Christ, as well as Prophet Muhammad from the Quran, be with you all. Those of you that are stars in the east, those that you are keeping your compass, all my fraternity brothers, my sorority brothers, and know the science, those that are standing on their squares and degrees, all eyes on us. And let us continue to just be focused on truth and searching our truth, whether even in secrecy or in publicity. It be in your soul and energize your life.
For sure. So, Skinny Bones, are you a Mason?
Oh, wow. Well,
now I know my questions may seem a little elementary, but you know me, man. I'm a little deeper than most. But, you know, about compasses and squares and in the east and, you know, all that.
Well, you know, the Torah and the Quran teaches us that we should face the east and crush the beast. So we want to keep our eye on the sparrow. And we want to know that, you know, that monotheism is spread throughout the world. So when we really study in life we're supposed to, we'll know what the Creator expects out of us all. So I don't know if there's a title in particular that one could stick on an individual, but I will say that I'm a knight of the Most High, and I fight the good fight like Mikael, Raphael, and and Gabriel Elohim and Uri Elohim. So as far as that's concerned, I consider myself just to be someone of Jerusalem who is fighting the good fight as a knight of the Holy of Holies, and I don't mean H-O-L-Y, I mean W-H-O-L-L-Y, completion. I don't really think there's a title though that I could, stand up under in those or stand up under or over. All I can say is that I stand on good squares and degrees, and I keep my 7 close to me. And there is no number divisible that can overcome that number except divide into and not just out of. So
Man, you just busy bone me with that answer, bro. I'm gonna let it slide. Let's take some callers. My buddy Half Easy's on. What up, bro?
Yo, my bad, yo. I had it on mute
okay.
because, like, I was just listening, man.
Cool.
What's going on, Skin and Bones, man? How you been, bro?
What's up with you, baby boy? I mean, you know, I'm ready to do that work with you, man. I know you've been busy, but don't leave me out. You know, I was just a little guarded, but I've been getting to see your tapestries. And I said, man, we got to reach out to the God body because I really want his hand of God to touch my tapestries, man, and let's show the people what our eyes can do.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I'm always up to do shit. I mean, Houdini knows kind of my situation right now with the music thing, so kind of just been chilling, really.
Right.
Just, you know. So how you been, though, man?
Oh, man, you know, just rolling with the one at all times, man. If we keep it monotheistic, we ain't got to work like the polytheism, the platypus, or the octopus. You know what I mean? Because we rolling as one in one, all in all.
Speaking of that, monotheism, Skin and Bones, this one's going to go a little left field. But for a time, you were in polygamy, right? Are you still practicing?
Oh, yeah, man. We investigated the arts of polygamy. And by going that direction, what we were trying to explain and say to people was that you got so many people out here talking about they live the alternative lifestyle or they're promiscuous and all this kind of stuff. And you got to realize we ain't no we're not someone just wrapped in white without no blemishes. But in our earlier life, we figured that if we were going to date multiple women, the first thing that we were going to do would be honest and tell them the truth. And it was to the point to where, you know, they wanted to know or to meet, then we made that possible. We didn't want to seem like we were sitting there trying to be deceptive or we were writing a book on how to be a player. So, you know, Bellamy style, we just decided to be humble and take the humble route. And that's what we did for a while, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take some more questions. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask, man, did you just decide one day that that's what you wanted to do, or, like, how does all that work?
As far as what?
Like, getting into it, like, did you have to go somewhere and get involved, or, like...
Well, when we discovered all these...
They make it seem like it's, like, a place where, like, you know what I'm saying, where it's done, like usually at, like, a camp or something, I thought. I don't really know.
Well, no. See, you got a lot of confusion with the different sets and things of that nature, and really
okay, so there's different organizations. Okay.
Well, no. I'm saying when you study, what's all you do when you claim the Most High, when you go monotheistic, all you have to say to the Creator is, "I'm going to keep the Sabbath. Which is the so-called Saturday, but we know that that's another science, so we don't want to call it Saturday. We call it Shabbat." You know, and we're going to deprive ourselves of bottom feeders and ports. And you're just going to study, you know, the scriptures a little more in-depthly because there are actual days we can keep besides those Christmases and Easters and Halloweens. You know, there's the Yom Kippur, there's the Feast of the Leavened Bread, the first fruits. All these things deal with the seasons and the moon, you know, and things of that nature. And that stuff is really a ritual to energize your spirit and your being. Facing the southeast when you meditate, you don't necessarily have to be on your knees, but you could get you a chair, face southeast, and meditate on your loved ones and giving the Creator thanks for what He's done for you in your life. And that synchronicity, like a clock, it energizes you and synergizes you because this is all based off of science. This is not just based off mumbo jumbo and a humble fumble, you know.
Completely agree. Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. I just had to ask.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate it.
All right, let's take another call here. 6157, you're live with Skin and Bones. 6157. You're out there?
Tsunami epic, make my mohawk stand.
All right.
No, not the sign, just and in alignment.
All right, 7161. What's up? Seven one 61. All right, they don't want to chat either. Cool. Okay, 6848. You're live. No? Okay. Well, Skin, I guess that's 3 that don't want to say anything. I guess they're just listening in, soaking up the knowledge that you have for us all. Man, check it out. Check this out. So today I was on, doing my normal studying, and I came across a YouTube video. They just, it's not a recent discovery, but they did find pyramids on Antarctica. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because at the end of the day, we know that when the flood transpired, that it basically did settlement and rose everything to a certain degree and a certain level. So it's exciting, man, to just see the Most High unveil His master designs all over the world, constantly giving us a day of surprise every day of our life.
Sure. Are you shaving, man?
Oh, my what?
Are you shaving?
Oh, yeah, I got my barber right now touching me up as we speak.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he's not just a barber, man. He's an entrepreneur, man. Song plays in the groove himself, man. It's a Two Fly. We want to give shouts out to him, Two Fly Cuts, and everything that he's doing for us in the community. 100 Black Men, mentor. So everything works out, man. It's nothing that I'll quote Mr. Stuggett. It's nothing fugazi or fruity about it. We're really out here, doing stuff for our community, so we find ourselves hand in hand, gripped with other people, other, community elites, Commonwealth elites. It's all about a status, man, in which one established itself made for themselves. You can't just join in. Sometimes you got to be born in. But, at the end of the day, let he that will, what do you say? Let he that will, choose it. Life, let he that will drink freely from the fountain of life. So it all boils down to where you're at, what you want to be, y'all. It's not how you start out, it's how you think.
Okay, dig that, man. We got 1 minute left. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation?
First of all, we'd like to thank Mr. Dean Mussolini for having us. We'd like to thank Mr. Andre Bill, DJ Godfather Bone Dragos for mentoring us. Rick Robinson. We'd like to thank Mr. Brian McCain. We'd like to thank Mr. Steve House. Everyone in the family. We want to thank Chamber Music and everyone that's had a hand in our beginnings and endings and new beginnings. Our friends and our foes, our family and our frenemies.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Danny Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.